It is now time to glaze this Monstera watering can, and one of the fun challenges of these is that I need to get glaze all over the inside through the entire spout, and the watering can is too wide to dip into this bucket. So we're going to be pouring our glaze. First, I pour some of the glaze onto the inside of the pitcher, and then I'm going to carefully pour and twist to try to coat the entire thing. But because of that spout, I'm going to have to be a little careful, and I know that I've probably going to have to end up pouring a little bit more glaze in there. I need to pour and rotate to get the entire spout covered, and that little cover at the top makes it a little tricky to get the whole entire inside. So I know I need to add a little tiny bit more glaze. See, I missed a little spot, so I just pour a little bit more in there and pour it right back out. This is possible because this glaze was a little thin, which means my results aren't quite what I wanted when it comes out of the kiln, but that's okay. I still think it looks cool. I tested really quick to see if it fit in the bucket, and it doesn't, so I'm going to use my pitcher to carefully pour more glaze over the outside of the entire thing, carefully kind of twisting as I go to make sure I coat most of the pot. For complex forms, sometimes this is the best method for glazing. Yes, dipping gives you a more even coat, but pouring glaze is perfectly acceptable. It typically ends up with a pretty nice coat of glaze, even if you can see a little bit of the pour lines. One of the problems, though, is that any little overhangs like that often miss glaze, so you have to pour a little bit more on there. So after touching up a few spots that I bumped and making sure everything was covered in glaze, I then set this aside to dry so I could clean up the foot and put it into the kiln the next day.